So 4 years back we bought an MX-5 and we started this channel about driving that city MX-5 on that racetrack. And today, 4 years after, we are still doing more or less the same thing. We have MX-5s and we drive on this track. But we thought celebrating 4 years OneLapHeroes with a different episode. An episode that has to do with you guys, with one of you, one of the people that actually watch the videos and not us. So we're gonna try to speak less in this episode and leave someone else to do the talking.
Yeah, actually Tim here is probably a watcher from minute one, aren't you?
Yeah, from day one, man. I don't even know how it happened.
And the whole Nürburgring scene, for that matter, is taking itself so seriously, and we don't like that.
You can take whatever the fuck you have,
Take it
and go out and drive it.
When it started, we came over here and we understood that now all of a sudden we weren't alone. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like all this crazy shit about
Exactly how we feel some nights, you know? That we are here and nothing is working and we are looking at the car on the lift and it's broken and you don't feel alone, or you feel very alone.
It's a real thing though, man.
Anyway,
sometimes you need an experience like this.
The problem for Tim is that out of all the inspiration he could get out there, he got OneLapHeroes. I don't know if this is probably the role model you should follow, but unfortunately for you, this is what you follow. And this is where he ended up with his project, which is now what? 4 years?
Scrutineered!
Yeah, and it's going to be scrutineered because apparently he clocked a very suspicious lap time out there. So we want to check the car.
Let's say it like this, we don't believe in lap records and there are no lap times happening here ever for no reason. But apparently we have a new lap record, so...
We have a new lap record for stock drivetrain MX-5.
Can you say the title, the complete title of that record?
I believe that you are the only person that can say all these sentences together in one go.
It is the record for the fastest stock drivetrain first generation Mazda MX-5. Wow, that's a mouthful.
That's good.
Fastest stock drivetrain MX-5 ever.
Anyway, tell us about this car. What's happening here?
Man, so
It looks completely stock from the outside.
But it's not, I see all the small touches.
yeah. So there's
As long as
a
we
lot
have
of stuff
OneLapHeroes,
has been refined on track and you know, as back as well. So
One of the reasons that we are watching this car and we are letting Tim do some talking and some driving on the channel is because actually everything that has been done here is 100% OneLapHero approved. It is done with the correct recipe.
By himself.
And exactly the coolest thing of all is that you have done every single thing. You actually learned to weld on this car. You did your own alignment. You made the tools required to do your own alignment. You have done your own engine work. You have done everything basically. Wrong and right up until you are happy with the car.
Unlike you.
I lack the skills, what is the problem? Not all of us are talented.
but this is the spirit, man. Everything you can learn, you know? Sometimes things feel out of this world and shit, but if you really want to, man, you
Why
can
is this
make
car
things
here
happen.
today?
So
Because of your brother.
as well, yeah.
Because of your friends.
My brother Lars, also a big contributor. You know, we both came out of nowhere. We had no tools, nothing, and you know, over time we got things together and you know, researched stuff and learned and did laps and came back and you know, improved as much as we could, not only on the car but on ourselves as well, you know.
How much camber are you running here? Minus 10.
3.5 degrees.
3.5? Yeah. That cannot happen with stock MX-5 uprights. So what's happening here?
Oh
Is
yeah,
something modified?
Yeah, extended ball joints in front in order to get more camber, you know. The whole suspension, man. It's
spring rates. Tell me what's happening there.
It's the Meister coilovers, but we changed spring rates. Like the
But
front.
it's also cool as well. You're also using, so he's using Meister R.
Exactly like the ring banana, and
Like
exactly like
banana
Sergio.
And
Nankangs?
Nankang as well, like all
Me
the
or him or you or whatever. But exactly, I want to hear about the spring rates. What have you done? Because you played quite a lot. You might think that the question is if he has Master Hours or not, but actually this is not this. The question is he took a setup that for him didn't feel exactly right, and he tried to tailor it to what you like to drive.
Exactly.
And it's not even about the correct or the right. It's what he
it's
thinks
what worked
that
for me.
it works.
You know,
Exactly.
I want a car that rotates around the center, kind of. You know, where the front rotates around in order to give you a better turn in and some play on turn exit. You know. So I changed the fronts to 10 and the rears to 7, which is kind of close together, no? And the front, we put some helper springs in as well, in order to get to the bump stop earlier and give it some rebound, which sped up parts like carousel and shit crazy, as you know, you're gonna see, I guess.
Anti-roll bars,
So,
that is a questionable topic here.
Yeah, no, it's
Some of us like them, some of us don't, but
no, they are stock all around. I would like to try some stuff around with them in the future, but
for now,
right now it works great.
Yeah. And alignment roughly, so it is a little bit more aggressive than the ring banana setup. It is quite close, but a little bit more. So you have
3.5 in the front and 3 in the back, as in
negative camber,
yeah. And no toe in front, some in the rear, and some caster as well, about 3 degrees, and that's about
big spares. We can you know, plug it in a little bit just for the sake of you guys, whenever you need something. Anyway, so cool. Everything feels completely stock to me. Everything sounds.
And we're very happy. This is the kind of suspension that is eligible. He has actually a modified ball joint. No, but it is eligible. It's a suspension setup we condone. It's actually cool to notice that this has a slightly different wheel setup. So normally we try to keep both Sergio's and the Ring Banana cars with a very little amount of tire, 185 tires. This has 205s in a slightly bigger wheel, which could be an advantage or a disadvantage. In this case, Tim actually translated that to grip and to more corner speed, so it actually worked very well for him. But the question and why we're having this video and why we're having a very long conversation off camera is what is happening under here. Tim doesn't want to talk a lot about it, but he has done a lot of work there as well.
The thing is, it doesn't really matter, you know.
Oh,
now it doesn't matter.
No, look.
It doesn't matter.
This is exactly why I swapped the V6 engine, because it doesn't matter. It matters a little bit.
So the stock engine was a 90 horsepower engine.
Okay.
And we swapped it for a 116 horsepower engine, you know, which sounds a lot, but you know, there was not too much really. But one of the big key differences was the ECU. It gave you the stock one. It gave you a little bit more RPM.
Cams?
And cam stock, the head received some work. Okay, but other than this,
some work. I want to know, what do you mean some work?
like polished the you know, the, what do you call it, the runners and stuff, you know. So
Okay, what is this?
this is
I know MX-5 engines very well. I don't have one right now, but I know them.
So
this doesn't look like that.
Yeah, we shortened the intake to the front, you know, instead of like how this, like from stock it's right next to the header.
This doesn't look like a
Yeah,
MX-5
this is from an i7. It's slightly bigger in diameter, you know.
So, in a different,
Okay. And what is this scheming here? This is the only scheming that has been done to the head.
not
I
really.
just told you the runners have been modified as well, and it has been resurfaced. Okay, you know.
Okay.
But the engine has been fully rebuilt. It's running, I think, 180 kpi in compression, which is exactly a stock, you know. So, yeah, and the cooling is important, man. That's what track, you know, setup is all about, is managing your temperatures, you know. So what we did was
a very short intake.
Yeah, short intake, and this is a radiator of a Civic, which is smaller
Oil
and gives some room for
as well.
the intake as well as the oil cooler, which you know.
Yeah.
So the problem that I see here is this. The problem that I
The
see.
header is stock as well. You know,
okay.
you might not think it, but it's just been wrapped.
Okay, the problem that I see here is this. This is kinda stock. There is a lot of work done, but it's still kind of stock, sort of stretching what you could somehow call stock.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
I think.
But in order for us to have a clear idea, I think we have to watch the lap.
Yeah.
Which anyway, even if the car wasn't considered stock, it's still a very impressive lap because this car is not gonna have like 200 horsepower. The discussion that we're having is if it has like 10 or 15 horsepower more. It's something along those ranges. I don't think that this qualifies as a 200 horsepower 2-liter engine.
No.
So that is not the thing. This is not the K20, like the one you should be building.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's watch the lap.
Yeah.
No?
Let's go.
What do we think about this lap? I tell you what I think.
The first thing I thought about the lap is that Tim's driving came a long way from the moment I know him, which is
Thanks, man.
like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
In the beginning I had the feeling that every time he was going down and I saw him there going down in Antonius Buche, the car was not going to come back in one piece.
Which is exactly what I was afraid every time Sergio left the first couple of years here. But eventually...
You never say I came a long way, maybe because I
You
didn't.
did, of course you did, of course you did, of course you did. This is the beauty of everyone improving.
Very, very clean, very nicely driven, no traffic, the car is there, a lot of speed carrying into the corners.
And
the
that is the pity that you cannot see this very well in the video. You cannot really see a slow car carrying a lot of speed. This is something that doesn't translate very well in the video. It takes quite a lot of effort to stay flat in these small sections.
Of course, when we are talking about carrying a lot lot of speed, we are talking about MX-5 standards, which is no speed. But no, for example, what he does in the 2 kilometer sign, which is keeping his foot down and going for it, something that, for example,
because subconsciously you want to lift. It doesn't matter in what car you are, you want to lift, even in a low horsepower car. And the fact that you have to work through yourself and stay there and still drive it smoothly. And he fucking drives without power steering. That for me looks like a miracle.
Yeah.
So
I want, you know, I like the
feel.
Yeah.
We might make a long argument.
There is indeed a big step in setup in this car. It's
correct. It feels
very good car. Power-wise, it didn't feel very impressive. It actually felt boring. Not because it is your car. My car felt equally boring. Up the hill, it's just you just want
to. But still quite a bit faster.
But a little bit faster. It's a bit faster. Of course, there are some tricks here and there, but. Yeah.
It's actually very interesting because I think and this should wrap completely the whole lap time discussion. People think that a specific lap time is the goal, and as long as we are here and we keep driving, I think that will not happen. There is never going to be a lap time that is the lap time. Someone will come with a slightly better car than Tim's car, and he will try to do 8:21, and then someone will come and he will drive under 8:20. And there was a time that we said no, we don't even think a stock MX-5 can do under 9, and then actually it could with literally no modifications. But to go from that under 9 to 850 to 840 to 830 to 820, it's such a huge gap and a lot of amount of driving, effort, money, time.
But this is what it's about, and this is why we're here. It's for driving.
It is about driving.
As much as possible,
I fully agree.
It's about improving yourself and you know.
But you should not say to me, I'm with you. You should say to them.
Yeah,
come here and drive, motherfucker. Come here and drive, guys.
This is it.
Right? Imagine it like this. We give you the channel for like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, something, and you can say to everyone, there are not that many, to everyone that is there, and you can say them whatever you want. You are alone. It's your car, it's your channel, it's say whatever you want.
I don't have much to say other than this, you know. I mean, this is why we're here, and you know, sometimes, I don't know, you know, the environment you live in, and cars are not too accepted and shit, and tracks, you know, in general are this niche thing and whatever, but you come here and everything seems normal, you know. The Nürburgring, everything around it is, you know, living cars and breathing cars as much as possible, and you realize you're not alone, you know. So following your dream all the time, you know, made sense, and I hope it does for you as well.
You sound like a guy that is going to keep on driving for a while.
I will,
and man. I know that you guys
probably
didn't watch all this long thing, and it's a pity. I might cut a small part of him talking about his story and what he did with his brother and how he started into cars and his love for sim racing and how it helped him be a better driver.
Me and my brother, we both work on our cars and make them ready like this for track in order for them to work properly. And it didn't start off like this, you know. We didn't start off with all of this. We started off with 2 shit boxes, and even before it, you know, when we were young, all we did was race online simulators. It sounds silly to some, but it has a lot of value that is generally underappreciated. You learn how to go fast and learn a lot from others, because the thing about virtual racing is that everyone has the same conditions, okay? No money, no reputation or influence is going to get you anywhere. All that matters between who's faster is your ability to drive. And this is how it all started. And it kind of, you know, even though it's virtual, the dancing with the car around the limit, it's fun, it's exciting, and it's, you know, and it's real no matter virtual or in the real life. And you know, it's like, people like to call it pretend race cars. This may be true, but it's not pretend friendships, and certainly not pretend experience. So that's how we got there, and that's how we, you know, started building our stuff. You know, a basic set of tools. That's how it starts, and you go on, you save money, you put stuff together, you look for a location where it works, and where you put stuff together, and maybe someday, you know, after some work, you know, it doesn't happen over a month or like maybe a year, okay? You know, it takes dedication, and slowly over the years, this is what we got. And we're happy with this, and I hope there's more people out there that see this and believe in their own dream, you know?
And hopefully you get a little bit inspired by that, but that is
stuff,
not, there is nothing deep. The meaning of this video is the same as always. Take whatever the fuck you have and go out and drive.
This is it. Okay, we're good, man.
Done.
Let's call this a wrap.